Welcome, dear viewers, to a story that will grip you from the first word and refuse to let go. Tonight, I bring you a tale of betrayal, secrets, and a twist so sharp it will leave your heart racing. A story that teaches us to never underestimate the quiet calm of someone who knows more than they let on. Brace yourselves. It started like any ordinary evening. The aroma of roasted chicken filled our cozy kitchen, the soft hum of the refrigerator blending with the faint crackle of a vinyl record. I had just finished plating our dinner, carefully arranging the vegetables and pouring a glass of red wine. Emily, my wife, was sitting across the table, scrolling through her phone with that unusual smirk I didn't recognize. Her eyes darted up and then back down, as if hiding something. Something terrible. And then, as casually as one might comment on the weather, she dropped the words that would make my world tilt. "You know, I've been thinking. Maybe I should just leave you, for someone else." "Aaron," she said, with a kind of cruel lightness that made my blood freeze. My stomach twisted. My best friend, Aaron, the man who had been my confidant for years, was suddenly the other man in the story of my life, the secret she had been hiding. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't even spill the wine I was holding. I simply set it down, smiled faintly, and said, "I see." There was no panic in my voice, only a stillness that, in retrospect, probably terrified her more than my rage ever could. Emily laughed. A cold, sharp laugh. "Don't look so shocked. You should know by now how I feel." She leaned back, crossing her arms, her eyes glinting with arrogance, unaware that the game had already shifted. Because while she was confessing, I had already acted. I pulled out my phone, my thumb hovering over Aaron's contact. I didn't explain. I didn't beg. I simply typed, "Come over. Now." And I hit send. Emily's smirk faltered as I looked at her calmly. "Aaron's coming over." "What?" Her voice cracked, a mixture of fear and disbelief. How?" She stopped, realizing her panic was useless. Minutes passed, though it felt like hours. I finished my glass of wine, savoring each sip, each second drawing the tension thicker. The doorbell rang, echoing through the house like a drumbeat of inevitability. Emily's eyes widened. Aaron stepped in, casual, oblivious, or so she thought. "Hey, man," he greeted, flashing a grin that didn't reach his eyes. "Sit," I said. "Come." Controlled. I gestured to the chairs, and we all sat down at the dinner table I had so meticulously prepared. Emily's hands trembled as she reached for her wine glass. The first silence hung heavy, pressing against our ribs, until I finally spoke. "You told me you'd leave me, for him," I said, my voice low, deliberate. "Do you know what that makes you?" Emily opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I could see the realization spreading across her face, the understanding that she was no longer in control. Aaron's eyes flicked between us, sharp, calculating. "I didn't know," he said carefully. "I swear." But I raised a hand. No excuses. The suspense in the room was tangible. The air felt thick, almost electric. Emily's pulse must have been racing because I could see the faint flush creeping up her neck. I leaned forward, locking eyes with her. "You thought you could play us against each other, that I would never find out. But you underestimated me." Aaron, sensing the tension, leaned back slightly, waiting. And then I revealed the quiet truth she hadn't seen coming. I invited him here knowing everything. Every message. Every secret meeting. Every whispered lie. Emily's face paled. The smirk vanished. Her eyes darted toward Aaron, hoping for denial, but Aaron's expression was unreadable, calm, collected. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "To show you," I replied, my tone as icy as the wine in her glass, "that there's a difference between betrayal and underestimation. You betrayed me. And you underestimated me. Now you get to feel both consequences at the same time. She tried to speak, but her voice cracked again. The suspense was suffocating. The tension was unbearable. And then the final twist, the part she could never have predicted. "I'm done," I said. "Both of you." I stood, the chair scraping against the floor with a deafening echo. Emily's knees nearly buckled under the weight of realization. Aaron didn't move, didn't intervene. He just watched, silent, as the woman he had been unknowingly drawn into unraveled. I walked to the door, turned the lock behind me, and whispered, "Goodbye, Emily. Goodbye, Aaron. Life goes on, without lies." And then I left. Alone. Free. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt a sense of liberation that no betrayal could have stolen. Emily remained at the table, speechless, her plans, her lies, all crumbling in front of her. The suspense hung in the room like smoke, thick, suffocating, and utterly unforgettable. Dear viewers, the lesson here is simple but powerful. Never mistake calm for weakness. Some of us play quietly, wait patiently, and strike only when the time is right. And sometimes, the most devastating revenge isn't a shout, a fight, or a public humiliation. It's the silent, unstoppable unraveling of the truth in front of the very people who thought they controlled the narrative. If you take one thing from this story, let it be this: trust wisely, choose your friends carefully, and never forget that even the calmest heart can conceal a storm. From my heart to yours, I wish you strength, clarity, and courage. May you never have to face betrayal alone, and may your life always be free from the shadows of lies. Thank you for staying with me through this tale of suspense, betrayal, and ultimate justice. Until next time, keep your eyes open, because the truth is always closer than you think.